What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. DMZ missions are where it's at. Today we are looking at a mission called Kennel, which is for the Black Mous faction in DMZ. This mission has two parts, one asking you to extract 30 enemy dog tags, which of course you get after killing an enemy. You can loot their dog tag, and then the second portion saying that you should be killing 45 operators, aka enemy players, with a suppressed assault rifle. Now this seems extremely straightforward, and in actuality it is, but I will share some tips and tricks as to which assault rifle worked best for me and essentially did 99 of my kills for me, as well as I'll make some suggestions as to which areas you should be focusing on if you want to brute force this mission and get into as much PvP as possible. Now first things first, by no means am I telling you to only use this particular assault rifle for this mission, but what worked really well for me was the Chimera. Now if you don't have access to the Chimera, of course the TAC 56 is insanely good, as is the M4, but in the end the most important thing here is that you should be comfortable with the weapon, with its recoil, and using it to kill enemy players, which is certainly a lot different than hunting down AI. Secondly, you have to make sure that this weapon has a silencer on it. The other four attachments that you put onto your assault rifle, doesn't matter, you could build a clown gun for all you want, but you have to have a silencer on there for these kills to actually count. The good thing is this means that the M4s, which you can get off the elites in the game, the 3-plate elites in the game, can actually also help you get progress on this mission, which is something to bear in mind if your insured weapon is on cooldown and you want to still progress on this mission. Last but not least, before we actually dive into the specifics of the assault rifle that I built for this, you also have to bear in mind that if you play this in a group and those guys also have assault rifles with silencers on, that will also count progress for this mission. So the more the merrier, and if you play in a group, do encourage those guys to use assault rifles with silencers as well, and you will chip away at this super fast. Now, getting onto the Chimera, specifically the build that I have for this is kind of like the build that I use for all of my Chimeras, but I do use the Slimline Pro as the optic because it just has a super clean picture. I use the VLK laser 7mW for the laser, obviously. I use the 10-inch SA Phoenix for the barrel. I use the Custovia DX90 for our muzzle, aka our silencer that we need for this weapon. And then last but not least, because the Chimera is so fast firing, I get us an additional 45 rounds with a magazine attachment there. Now when it comes to the different tunings that you can do on this, there's three parts which you can tune here. There's of course the optic, the barrel, and the muzzle, and in the case of all three of those, what you should be focusing on is making this an extremely mobile weapon, aka you want aim down sight speed, you want no recoil, and you want aiming stability. So any one of those three as a combination. In the background right now you can see the tunings that I use myself, but again, your comfort is most important. You need to be comfortable with this weapon because you are going to need to use this weapon to kill the enemy players. Now last but not least, specifically on the Chimera, it is ridiculously efficient at killing enemies in the medium to short range. Think of it as the submachine gun assault rifle in a way, and that is why it is so lethal for the kind of encounters that you could be going into buildings, you could be in short range fights. This will absolutely chew through enemies, especially people trying to challenge you with things like shotguns, LMGs, or something like that. As for the PvP zones and where you can get into some trouble, what you have to bear in mind is that you could also have this mission as one of your three just running in the background, and you just slowly chip away at it. If you want to brute force this and you want to get into as much trouble as fast as possible and get those kills in, especially if you're in a group and that gives you a little bit more confidence and you also have some buddies to back you up, you absolutely should be targeting Said Mall, Al Mazrah City, Hafid Port, and Sawar Village. These four areas on the map usually have either players camping those areas or players trying to complete missions in those areas. Both those things are good for you because these are potential victims that you can potentially kill and score their dog tags, as well as the 45 kills which you need. All four of these locations also feature excellent sightlines and great choke points where you can essentially control the map and force enemies into an engagement with you, and you can most likely come out as the victor. Either which way, I wish you luck with this. I hope you get your 45 kills and I hope you get that dog tags real damn soon. That's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. It's just super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are in the world. And until next video, fucking cheers.
They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me.